A busy 18th century street in New York City. People are going about their day. Alexander Hamilton stands on a soapbox, addressing a crowd.
Hey y'all, it's Alexander Hamilton. I want to share my plan for the economic success for this country. Yeah.
What's your plan?
Now we make a first national bank. This will manage our money and make our community stronger. Alright, we also need tariffs and taxes. This will protect our industries from foreign competition and generate revenue.
A town square in 1789, with people gathered around a stage. George Washington steps up to address the crowd.
Good day, my fellow citizens. I stand before you as a humble servant ready to lead our new nation. Our country has just gained its independence, and now we must work together to build a strong and united nation. I promise to uphold the Constitution and ensure that our government serves the people. Together, we can create a future of liberty and prosperity. Yeah! Thank you for your trust and confidence. Let's move forward as one nation under God with freedom and justice for all.
Go, George Washington!
In the early years of the United States, the young nation faced many challenges. One of these was the Whiskey Rebellion, a protest against the federal excise tax on whiskey. The whiskey tax is ruining us. We can't afford to pay it.
It's unfair. We use whiskey as currency out here. How are we supposed to survive?
We out here, you heard?
Alright, so we gotta stand up against the government. They shouldn't be taxing us like this, yeah?
Yeah, they should not.
Meanwhile, in Philadelphia, President George Washington and his Treasury Secretary, Alexander Hamilton, were determined to enforce the tax.
We can't let the lawlessness prevail.
I agree, Mr. President. We must show the federal government to collect taxes.
I will lead the militia myself if necessary. We must preserve the Union and the rule of law.
President Washington called up a militia force of nearly 13,000 men to march to western Pennsylvania and put down the rebellion.
For the United States of America.
Faced with the overwhelming force of the militia, the rebels dispersed and the rebellion ended without significant bloodshed.
We can't fight them, there's too many.
It's over. We have no choice but to comply.
1. The Whiskey Rebellion was a crucial test of the new nation's ability to enforce its laws. It demonstrated the strength of the federal government and its commitment to maintaining order. And so, the young United States took another step toward becoming a stable and unified nation.
Gentlemen, we find ourselves in a precarious situation. The French have seized our ships and violated our neutrality. We must respond decisively.
Mr. President, we should bolster our Navy. Mr. President.
Indeed, we should also consider authorizing privateers to defend our interests in high seas.
Agreed. We will strengthen our naval forces and issue letters of marque. However, we must avoid a full-scale war. Diplomacy remains our best priority.
3, 2, 1.
Thus began the Quancy War, an undeclared naval conflict between the United States and France. American ships defended their commerce, with diplomats worked tirelessly to resolve the tensions.
Before any discussion can proceed, we need a loan from the French government that requires it.
This is outrage! The United States will not be extorted.
Without these payments, there will be no negotiation.
We will not submit to such demands.
This is an insult to our dignity. We cannot go unanswered. We must prepare our Navy for defense.
The XYZ affair led to the surge of anti-French sentiment in the United States and the strengthening of American naval forces, getting the stage for the Quancy War.
Senator Lewis, we need to address the growing threat of foreign interference. Our intelligence reports indicate an increasing number of aliens, both legal and illegal, are undermining our national security.
Good.
And what about the sedition part?
Good.
The Sedition Act will criminalize any speech or action that incites rebellion against the government. We cannot afford to let dissent weaken us from within.
But Mr. President, Senator, don't you think this could infringe on civil liberties? How will you ensure innocent people aren't caught in the crossfire?
It's a delicate balance, Kelly. We must protect our citizens and our democracy, but we'll also implement strict oversight and prevent abuse of power.
Exactly. Well, from a bipartisan committee to review any actions take under these laws. Our priority is the safety and security of our nation.
I agree, Mr. President. That's why I propose the alien laws. It will give us the authority to detain and deport any alien deemed a threat to our nation.
I'll hold you to that, Senator. The public will want transparency.
Yeah! And then they shall have it. We'll ensure alien laws and sedition act are enforced justly and fairly.
3, 2,
James, these alien and sedition acts are unconstitutional. We must take a stand.
I agree, Thomas. We need to assert the state's rights to nullify federal laws that overstep their bounds.
But how do we ensure our resolutions are taken seriously?
We'll draft the Kentucky resolutions to declare that the states have the right to judge constitutionality of federal laws.
And the Virginia resolutions will emphasize that the federal government cannot extend powers beyond those granted by the Constitution.
This set a powerful precedent. Let's ensure our argument and clear and compelling.
They will be. Together we will defend the principles of our republic.
Did you hear Jefferson's against Adams this year?
Fellow citizens, it's time for a change. We need to restore the principles of liberty and democracy.
Change? Stability is key.
It's the government that must serve the people, not the other way around.
Vote
For Jefferson.
Gentlemen, we must secure New Orleans and the Mississippi River for trade.
Yes, Mr. President. Control of New Orleans is vital for our western expansion.
We should offer France a substantial amount for their territory.
I'm Napoleon. The Louisiana territory is vast, but I cannot maintain it. Perhaps we should sell it to Americans as wise.
We are prepared to discuss the purchase of New Orleans and Florida.
What if I offered you the entire Louisiana territory?
The whole territory, that's above our expectations.
Double the size of our nation.
For 15 million, it's yours.
This is a monumental moment for our country. We must move swiftly to finalize this deal.
We made good progress, but the journey is still long, really long.
Our next goal is to reach the Rocky Mountains.
I can help guide you through the mountains. My people know the safest route.
Look at all the new plants and animals we've documented. This land is truly rich and diverse.
Indeed, our findings will be invaluable to Mr. President Jefferson and the future of our nation.
Let's make sure to stay vigilant. The terrain will only get tougher from here.
Don't worry. With my guidance, we'll find a way.
We're ready for whatever comes next. Let's make history. We must take decisive action to counter the French blockade. Our economy depends on it. Yeah! Woo!
I'm the Admiral. The orders in the Council will restrict neutral trade with France. We'll enforce them with our naval power.
But what about our trade with America? They're our biggest trading partner. I didn't know.
The Americans must understand that their trade with France undermines our war effort.
Yeah! These orders are an effort to our sovereignty. They'll only push us closer to conflict.
This could lead to a war with America. We aren't ready for that.
We must protect our nation and our allies. The orders in the council are necessary, and we will stand by them.
Then you leave us no choice but to defend our rights. We will not be bullied.
The War of 1812 has begun, fueled by British interference in American trade and imprisonment of sailors.
We must stand our ground. Our independence is at stake.
It's January 1815. General Andrew Jackson rallies his troops in New Orleans.
Man, the British are coming. We will defend the city with all our might.
On January 8th, the British launched their attack.
Advance, take the city.
Hold the line. Don't let them through.
We did it. New Orleans is safe.
News of the victory spreads, but the Treaty of Ghent has already been signed, ending the war.
Though the war is over, we've shown our strength and unity.
Our nation is united. We must continue to build on this foundation of peace and prosperity.
However, European powers are eyeing the Americans for potential colonization.
Mr. President, European nations are considering new colonies in our new hemisphere. This could threaten our security.
In December 1823, President Monroe addresses Congress with a bold new policy.
The American continents are henceforth not to be considered as subjects for future colonization by any European powers.
Monroe Doctrine asserts the United States' role as a protector of the Western Hemisphere.
This doctrine will ensure our independence and discourage European interference.
The Monroe Doctrine becomes a cornerstone of American foreign policy, symbolizing a new era of confidence and strength.